Hello friends, I am Chevee. This is my shed, and you are welcome here anytime. Why did I say it that way? That's awkward. Anyway, how are you? How's things in your world? Let me know in the comments. As always, I really love hearing from you, and I've been hearing from you a lot lately. And that's felt really, really good. Every time I pick the phone up and I click on things, I get to hear, or I get to see that a lot of you are enjoying the stuff that I talk about, and that's important to me. So I wanted to cover some of this stuff because we talked about skills that I have, skills that I don't have, that sort of thing. Well, that's the comment here. Thrasher asked me, how about commenting skills you don't have that you want to learn? I have a lot of skills I don't have that I want to learn. Directly behind the camera is a MIG welder. My dad bought that MIG welder in the 90s. I converted it to gas a couple of years ago. It was just a flux core MIG for a long time. I put a gas kit on it. I have a bottle of gas sitting there, and since that time I have used it maybe once or twice. And I don't even know that I ever did a project with it. Oh, I did. There's a video on the channel somewhere of me welding something. I don't remember what it was for. But I did weld with it on camera. I needed it for a project of some kind. But I'm really bad at it. Like, really, really bad at it. And that's one of those skills that I would love to be more proficient at. But it's a very forgettable skill. And I'm not going to do enough to practice and maintain any level of competency. So, yeah, that's definitely one. The other one when I first read this, the other one that came to mind was dang, I don't remember what the other one was. Well, I don't know. I'll think about that for the rest of this episode, but there's always things that I want to learn, and generally, when I want to learn something, I learn it. Like, I kind of get a drive that pushes me towards that. Probably has something to do with ADHD, or maybe even, being a bit manic or something. And when I find something that piques my interest, I go full force. So, there's that. But lately, well, since the medication and then stopping it, I haven't really had that drive for a very long time. I haven't felt like I really want to tackle this new thing that I've never done before. So currently, welding is the one thing that I can think of that's like, yeah, I need to learn that skill. It's tough. Jonathan asked me, talking about game reviews, I talked about wanting to build a new set, and he asked about a new backdrop. Yes, and this is not a backdrop. I mean, it is. This is a perfectly excellent backdrop for video making, but it's just an active shop that I work in on a weekly basis. So I do want to have something for the gaming situation, but it'll be much less disorganized and distracting than this. There's a spot in my house in particular that I have where there's a east-facing window. So if I shoot in that room, in that window is like an alcove, so I can put a bench there and I can put a table in front of it, and I can use that window as a backlight with some good curtains in front of it, and then I can put some stuff on the alcove. It'll be on this side, on the alcove walls and such, to kind of decorate it. But it'll be just really basic, like a meeple or something, and maybe a, whatever. It's not going to be super distracting. So, yeah, it'll be a set. That will be literally set up just for doing game reviews and talking about games. This is just a disaster in the making, and I just come down here. Thrasher also commented about me being into lockpicking. He only found one video on my channel about lockpicking. Yes, I was into lockpicking for quite a while, and I used to carry around a little kit, and I should have grabbed it before I turned the camera on. It's late, by the way. I used to carry around this kit that had like 3 or 4 practice locks in it, and my lockpicks, and I would just sit, when I was doing nothing, I would just sit and practice picking these locks. So I had a lock that was like the basic master lock, which you can open in about a half a second with. I could teach you to do it in less than a second. You would just pop this lock with nothing. It's super easy to do. And then I had a slightly advanced lock that had that did not have security pins, but it had tighter tolerances, so you couldn't just rake it open. You had to pick it open. And then I had an advanced lock that had some security pins in it, which are basically in lockpicking, you're taking advantage of mechanical slop. That's how you figure out how to set things. So security pins really just kind of introduce fake mechanical slop, so that as you're picking the lock and you feel it, you're like, oh, was that? But it might just be. If you really want to learn about that, I can talk more about it, but you can also just look it up. And then lastly, Maui Chris said, in relation to the motorcycle riding, he said, I don't know about you, but getting on the motorcycle and riding for a ride is one of the best feelings in the world. Do you joyride or go on the moto just for the sake of riding? Do I have any long, twisty roads in my area that almost seem purpose-built for riding and never go out with a riding club? Yes, I do joyride sometimes, with the girlfriend more often than not, because before I had this new job, I used to work in a job where I would travel all over the state, and I rode a lot. Like, I was putting 10,000 miles a year on the bike just for work. So I didn't need to joyride. I didn't need to just take the bike for the sake of taking the bike. Now, it doesn't go out very often, and especially this summer, since all the construction, I haven't been riding it to work. The only times I ride it is when it's like, hey, let's go for a ride. And so oftentimes, we usually come up with a destination, like let's go get ice cream, or let's go to the store, or let's, go to Home Depot, which is in another town over, and get stuff. And I live in the mountains, so do I have twisty roads that are built for riding? Yes. There are some roads here that I would say, there's some East Coast famous roads, like Dragon's Tail and Skyline Drive, that they're like a normal road. My road to my house is more twisty and fun to ride than those rides. So I live in the mountains. This is Appalachia. There are a lot of twisty roads that are just fun to just go out and throttle on. The problem is they're also really badly maintained, so I have to kind of be careful. But some of the roads that get a lot of motorcycle traffic around here are maintained because of that reason, which is nice. But yeah, I need to get it out more. It's been a weird summer of not a lot of riding, and that bothers me. But yeah, so I really appreciate you everybody checking in, and the game review videos have gotten quite a there's a uptick on review videos, which is good. Especially since somebody posted the Hogwarts Battle review. That video has gotten way more views than my average video. So I'm excited about doing more reviews and talking more about the gaming industry. I've been a part of it for a very long time, and I've never done it because I felt like I was too much a part of it. I couldn't just step away from being a part of Portal Games. But I don't think anybody associates me with Portal Games anymore, so I can kind of get away with it, and that's what I'm going to do. So it's late. I got back from Keely's softball game tonight. We have 2 more softball games tomorrow, so it's going to be a long day, and I'm going to be tired. So I'm going to cut this now and go edit it and get it out for you, and enjoy my weekend. So thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from wishtv.com. How much money does a gas station make per gallon? You should know that after all the ups and downs in a year, gas stations do not make much money from selling gasoline. After credit card fees and other operating costs, net profit for gasoline sales averages 3 cents a gallon, according to the National Association of Convenience Stores.